The Journey of Siddhartha Gautama Toward Enlightenment. Introduction. The story of Siddhartha Gautama, who later became known as the Buddha, is one of the most profound spiritual journeys in human history. It is a narrative of a prince who renounced wealth, power, and luxury to search for the truth of existence. His quest was not motivated by ambition or conquest, but by a deep yearning to understand the nature of suffering and to discover a path to liberation. The journey of Siddhartha Gautama toward enlightenment illustrates the transformative power of perseverance, wisdom, and compassion. It remains a timeless inspiration for millions of people around the world. This essay explores the key stages of Siddhartha's life: his early years as a prince, his encounter with human suffering, his renunciation, his years of asceticism, his practice of meditation, and finally, his awakening under the Bodhi tree. Early life in luxurious. Siddhartha Gautama was born around the 5th or 6th century BCE in Lumbini, in present-day Nepal. He belonged to the Shakya clan, and his father, King Siddhartha, ruled the small kingdom of Kapilavastu. Siddhartha's birth was surrounded by auspicious signs. According to legend, wise sages prophesied that he would either become a great king or a great spiritual teacher, concerned that his son might choose the spiritual path. King Suddhodana sought to shield Siddhartha from the harsh realities of life. The young prince grew up in a palace filled with luxury and comfort. He was surrounded by music, feasts, and pleasures, and every effort was made to protect him from seeing sickness, aging, or death. The king believed that by keeping Siddhartha immersed in pleasure, he could ensure his future as a worldly ruler. Despite this sheltered upbringing, Siddhartha possessed a contemplative and compassionate nature. He married Princess Yasodhara, and together they had a son, Rahula. Yet, even amidst the abundance of wealth and family life, Siddhartha felt a sense of incompleteness. Something within him yearned for deeper meaning. The foresight Siddhartha's life took a decisive turn when he ventured outside the palace and encountered what are now known as the foresights. These experiences shattered his illusions and awakened his awareness of life's realities. The old man Siddhartha saw a frail elderly person and realized that aging is inevitable. Youth and vitality are transient, destined to decline. The sick man, he then encountered someone suffering from illness. He understood that health is fragile and suffering touches every life. The corpse, witnessing death for the first time, shook Siddhartha profoundly. He saw that no one can escape mortality. The ascetic, finally, Siddhartha saw a wandering holy man who had renounced worldly pleasures in search of truth. The serenity of this figure inspired him with hope that liberation might be possible. These 4 encounters planted seeds of deep inquiry in Siddhartha's mind. He realized that pleasure and wealth could not protect anyone from aging, sickness, or death. If life was marked by suffering, was there a way to overcome it? This question became the driving force of his spiritual quest. The Great Renunciation. At the age of 29, Siddhartha made a momentous decision. One night, he quietly left the palace, his sleeping wife, and his young son. Riding his horse Kanthaka, accompanied briefly by his servant Chunna, Siddhartha departed from a life of comfort to embark on the search for truth. This act is remembered as the Great Renunciation. His choice was not an act of abandonment, but of profound compassion. Siddhartha's quest was not only for his own liberation, but for the liberation of all beings. He sought to find a solution to the universal problem of suffering. Years of asceticism, Siddhartha traveled widely across the Ganges plain of northern India. Seeking teachers who could guide him, he studied under 2 renowned spiritual masters, Alara Kolema, and Udaka, Ramaputta mastering advanced states of meditation. Yet he realized that these practices, though profound, did not bring complete liberation from suffering. Determined to push further, Siddhartha turned to severe ascetic practices. For nearly 6 years, he engaged in extreme fasting, breath control, and self-mortification. He reduced his food intake to the point where his body became emaciated. Legends say he was so thin that one could touch his spine from his stomach. Siddhartha believed that by denying the body, he might conquer the desires that caused suffering. However, these harsh practices left him weak and near death. One day, he collapsed while attempting to bathe in the river. A young woman named Sujata offered him a bowl of rice milk. Accepting this food restored his strength and clarity of mind. In that moment, Siddhartha realized that neither indulgence in luxury nor extreme asceticism could lead to enlightenment. Both were extremes that failed to address the root of suffering. He discovered what would later be called the middle way, a balanced path between self-indulgence and self-mortification. Meditation under the Bodhi tree with renewed determination. Siddhartha sat beneath a fig tree in Bodh Gaya, vowing not to rise until he attained enlightenment. This tree would later be called the Bodhi tree, symbolizing awakening. For 49 days, Siddhartha entered deep meditation. He faced powerful temptations and distractions, personified in Buddhist tradition. As Mara, the lord of illusion, Mara tried to unsettle him with fear, desire, and doubt. Siddhartha, however, remained steadfast, grounded in mindfulness and compassion. During the course of his meditation, Siddhartha attained profound insights, often described as the three knowledges Trividi, and recollection of past lives, Puvenivasanu. He remembered countless past existences, seeing the endless cycle of birth and death. Divinai Divachagu. He perceived how beings are reborn according to their karma. Understanding the law of cause and effect that governs all existence, extinction of defilements Asavakyanana, he realized the Four Noble Truths in their fullness, extinguishing ignorance, craving, and hatred at dawn as the morning star rose. Siddhartha attained Bodhi, the complete awakening. He realized nirvana, the cessation of suffering, and became the Buddha, the awakened one. The significance of the Enlightenment. The Buddha's enlightenment was not only a personal transformation, but a universal breakthrough, he discovered. The timeless truth that suffering arises from craving and ignorance, and that liberation is possible through ethical living, meditation, and wisdom. The Buddha did not claim to invent this truth, but to rediscover it, like a traveler uncovering a long-forgotten path through the forest. His enlightenment opened the way for countless beings to pursue freedom from suffering. Conclusion: the journey of Siddhartha Gautama from prince to Buddha is one of humanity's greatest spiritual narratives. It reveals the courage to question life's assumptions, the willingness to renounce comfort for truth, and the perseverance to endure hardship in pursuit of wisdom. His realization under the Bodhi tree gave rise to the teachings that form the foundation of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. Siddhartha's story is not only a historical account, but also a symbolic guide for all seekers. It teaches that true fulfillment does not lie in wealth or in extreme denial, but in the middle way of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. His journey reminds us that enlightenment is not reserved for a select few, but is a potential within all human beings. More than 2,500 years later, the journey of Siddhartha Gautama continues to inspire those who search for meaning, freedom, and peace in a world still marked by suffering. His life is a testament that awakening is possible, and that each of us can, in our own way, sit beneath the Bodhi tree of our lives and realize the truth.